basic tutorial for the blues etude known as Sidestep to the 4. All of the exercises that I make, I name based on the concept within them, or at least one of the concepts. And the concept in this blues etude is being able to move from the 1 chord to its relative 4 chord. So in this case, we start off with a C major chord. Let's see if we can play that together with C, E, and G. And this is the first thing that the right hand has to play. And we are moving to an F chord, which is 4 notes higher, but we're not moving 4 notes higher. We are just revoicing the chord to access all of the notes we need for the F major chord. So we have C on the bottom, F, and A. And the pattern we have to be able to play is that. So in this case, I'm using my 1st, 3rd, and 5th fingers for both chords, but I'm just sliding the top 2 fingers up to find the next note. Let's work that out a couple times. Okay, so we need to do that in 3 different positions for this etude. We have to do this on C, which we have just done. We also have to do that with our thumb starting on F. And in this case, when we scoot up to its relative 4 chord, we want to have D for the pinky and B flat for the 3rd finger, while our thumb stays on F. Okay, can you try that once? The other position we have to do this in is the G position, the thumb on G. And that one is all white keys, the same fingers moving in the same direction. Okay, so that's the basic thing that the right hand has to do consistently throughout this piece of music, although there are a couple of exceptions. Let's run through those again. Here's the C chord moving to the F chord. Let's readjust, moving our thumb up to F. This is the F chord moving to a B flat chord. And then here is the G chord moving to a C chord. Okay, while we are here, let's take a look at the 3rd line of this piece of music, which is known as the turnaround. It's designed to get us back to the 1 chord. We have to do a couple of complicated things with the hand here. We have to connect the G chord to the F chord. So we're going to do the regular slide up to the 4. And before we move to the F chord, we're going to slide every single finger down 1/2 step to find black keys. F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. Or if you prefer flats as they are written in this piece, G flat, B flat, and D flat. So that slide has to happen like this. And that gets us to the F chord. Let's try that again. Here we have to do a little bit of a slide that's a lot more complicated. To get to the 1 chord, we're going to slide from here, everything moves, and I'm going to find, instead of 1, 3, 5, we're going to find 1, 2, 4 to play a revoicing of this F chord, where we have the E flat on the bottom. To our 1 chord. Let's try that whole 3rd line. Okay, and then we have this turnaround starting on the 1 chord that we'll discuss when we're doing both hands together. Okay, let's take a look at some of the elements that are necessary for the left hand. Here we are going to play C. This is C2. This is the second C on the piano, or 2 C's below middle C. And we're going to put our pinky on C. We're going to find with the thumb G, and then we need to be able to cross over the thumb with the second finger to find A. And the pattern here is pattern continues for a while, 4 times in fact, and after we've played it 4 times, we're going to do the same pattern starting on F. So here the notes we need are F, C, and D, and that's the finger we cross over with. Okay, so can we try these two? We're going to go back and forth between the two, since we have to do that in the piece of music anyway. Here's C. We're going to do it twice. Now we're going to try to move to F. Drop the pinky on F. We're going to do this one twice. Now we have to reach for C with the pinky. That's a big leap. It's a whole octave. Run through those again. We're going to go to F, and back to C. So in the actual etude, the C chord, the C pattern happens 4 times, and then we have the F chord twice, the F pattern rather, and then the C pattern twice. And then when we get to this turnaround at the end, we're going to play a nice, strong 5th. And then, just like before, when the right hand slid down to black keys to get this passing chord, the left hand is also going to do that. So we have a quarter, half, hold it, and then this chromatic thing with G flat and D flat, and then we find the same 5th starting on F and the same rhythm. And instead of doing a chromatic slide, this time we just stay on F before we go back to the C chord. Okay, so the way those fit together, let's try putting some of those together now. That is this pattern. Talk about that. The last time, before we move to the F chord, in order to give it a little bit more energy, we're going to slide up to a revoicing of the C chord, where we have the 3rd, 5th, and 7th, and the root is taken care of in the left hand. Just to give it a little bit more energy and a little bit more accessibility to the F chord that we need in root position. So what we want is we want the root, the pulse to start here, and then we're answering it with the right hand. And then the counterpoint is the right hand moves a little bit, then the left hand moves, then the right hand moves around, then the left hand moves around. It's a call and response thing. So that's how they interlock, and it's the same when we move up to the F chord. Okay, I'm going to do those slowly one more time so that you can see the hands. Here's what it looks like on the F chord. The last thing that we will discuss in detail is the 11th measure, or the first measure of the first ending, or the first measure of the second ending, as they are the same measures. This is what's written. It's a cool little blues sort of thing that is happening. The right hand has a C chord, and we keep a C chord, but we replace the root with the 7th. The thumb slides down, everything else stays the same. Then we drop everything down to find an F chord, or by itself it is A diminished. We have the 3rd of F, the 5th of F, and the 7th of F. A, C, and E flat. We're going to stay there, and then jump up to this 3, 5, 7 of G. While all of this is happening, the left hand is playing C, E, F, F sharp, G. Okay, one more time, nice and slowly. Let's try that together if you can. Ready, go. Drop down to the B flat, and add E. And then we have F, and everything is moving here. And then F sharp. And then G. And the first ending just has this, which propels us back to the beginning. And the second ending ends with an ending chord, which is voiced like this: C, E, B flat, G, A, and D. It's a dominant 13 chord. It's colorful, it's jazzy, it's everything that has to happen to end this piece properly. And that's that. I hope you were able to follow along and see my hands and understand the chords that are happening. Of course, you have the written music too, which will help. Go ahead and work this out slowly, one hand at a time, the individual elements by themselves with 2 hands, and then eventually the whole piece of music. That will be all for today. If you liked this tutorial, if you like others, like it. Similarly, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'll just post the exercises if no one uses this. I'm just talking to myself now. Have a nice day.